Hello, welcome. Um, we are Total Party Krit. Welcome to Nichol's Cryptid Catchers. It's a Hunter the Reckoning chronicle set in early 1940s. I am Dengle, the storyteller for this evening. Before we start, just a word of warning. This particular episode will probably have some things that'll come up that some people might find a little bit disturbing if you're one of those people and it starts bothering you more than a little bit. Take a step away. Take some time for yourself. If you want to come back, come back. If not, we understand. That being said, joining me tonight is Feyla playing Gladys.
Hello.
Buttons playing Rose.
Ew.
And Nenavar playing Edgar.
Hi.
So, what happened last time? The high points on my end. Gladys got hit with a trap, which was completely damaging. Made 2 people throw up, which is great.
It was emotionally damaging.
I was just gonna say that.
You went down in some tunnels, some cave systems, did some exploring, and then you found a cabin in the woods. Anybody want to elaborate on any of that?
Nope, cabin in the woods, that was it. We definitely didn't find someone living in the basement. We definitely didn't find papers that led to a A+ parenting.
And we definitely didn't get our tires slashed.
Yeah, that didn't happen at all. And we didn't leave off with Rose staring eye to eye with a very ginger-haired person in the woods.
No, I thought we left off reading the papers.
Oh, no. Rose was staring this guy in the eyes in the woods.
That happened immediately after we finished reading the papers.
Ah.
Left on a cliffhanger.
Yes. So, is there anything else that I missed? That was major.
Met friends with a librarian.
This is true. Librarian in the town doesn't fit in here very well. Beyond that, I think
we just need to adopt the librarian, guys.
I mean, definitely possible. So yeah, I believe that was honestly all the high notes. So we will rejoin the cell out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of Vermont, with Rose staring this individual in the face.
Making any sign of movement.
They believe they haven't been seen.
Okay. Let's see. Rose is going to very calmly, very quietly back away just a little bit, trying to make sure she's not noticed so she can get to Edgar and Gladys and let them know. That someone thinks he's trying to be sneaky.
Okay. Give me a wits and subterfuge. If you've got subterfuge.
I do not, so it's just going to be wits, so this will be fun.
Okay.
Off to a wonderful start. That is one success.
You, not so gracefully, not so inconspicuously, make it into the basement. The individual seems to have not really moved.
Hey, yeah, he came back. He's outside.
What?
The red-haired guy.
Oh, we need to get out of
Outside.
here right now before he decides to close the door then.
Yeah, you're
Bolt
probably
throw
right.
her out and ready to go.
Okay. So you head upstairs.
Yep.
Give me a wits and awareness, please.
Two.
4 for Rose.
3 for Edgar.
Okay. So either this guy is super hidden or he disappeared again. Because none of you see him tail nor trace.
I'm not going back down there until we know where he is.
Can I, before we see, are we making our way to the truck, or are we stopped at the outside of the house?
It's a good question. Are you?
I feel like we would have stopped right outside the thing and looked around.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're at the top of the steps for the basement.
Okay. Shouldering her rifle and taking a deep breath, Rose is going to walk outward a few feet and put up Sense the Unnatural just to see if he's anywhere still nearby.
Okay.
If it-
Oh, I've got that right here. So let me check something. Okay. Go ahead and give me your wits and occult or science. For this one, it'd probably be more occult, though.
Yes. Three successes.
Okay. So the forest around you is mostly conifers, so like pine, spruce, fir, all that fun stuff. You smell a very, very distinct, almost like smoky cedar smell that's kind of overpowering it. So feels like somebody might be there. Somebody that's not exactly what they look to be.
Oh man, we're still being watched.
I mean, I'm not really surprised. Maybe we should just go into the house and look around because I don't want to be in a place where we can't get out of.
That is a fair point.
Plus, there's only so many ways in and out of the house.
True.
Unless, I guess you could just set fire to it and then we're screwed.
Place is probably unstable enough. We can punch through a wall if we need it.
I'm sure you could. Gladys will make her way to the house then, keeping the bolt thrower up.
Okay, so main structure?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you make it...
Last game we checked out like some of the first floor, but that was the only thing we did. We stepped in and then went back outside.
Yeah, because it's pretty rickety. There's really only one floor. So you swing open the front door, and it kind of wails as it opens, and it stops about 3/4 of the way open. It will not go any further. It's like something bounded up, which with time and age and weather and all that makes sense.
Yeah.
You look inside and you see moss and mold and mildew just covering everything that used to be any sort of upholstered cloth, whatever. There is graffiti on the walls. There is carvings in the floor and the ceiling. The structure itself definitely could use a lot of work. Doesn't look like it would take a lot to disturb it and make it fall in, but it looks safe enough for a couple people to walk in.
What did the carvings say?
Oh, they're all pig related.
Yeah. Is there another way out of here or just the front door?
There's windows
Okay.
that if needed you could jump out of.
No? Should we look around here? We probably won't find much, but we can at least make an attempt.
Did you guys find any more in the basement?
Found some letters. The person outside is Marcus, the receptionist's son.
You sure about that? I mean, it makes sense, but I want to make sure.
About 90% sure.
Okay. So, look for more letters, look for some books. Anything in particular you think we should watch out for?
Anything that is not taken by time and nature? Anything that looks disturbed or used often?
Okay. Give me an intelligence and investigate, please.
One success.
4.
2.
Okay. So, Rose and Edgar, you were just kind of like poking around. You don't really find a whole lot. Gladys, you kind of go off into one of the bedrooms and you open up a side table, which it's pretty well dry rotted. However, you open it up and you see it almost looks like a box of some sort. It looks extremely well preserved.
Can I open it?
You pick it up and then an arrow just thunks into the wall. You look over to the window and he's standing there with a bow and arrow and he's like, put it down.
Willie raised one hand, slowly set it down. Hi.
What are you doing here?
Honestly, we were just trying to find what's going on. And then you slashed our tires.
That was kind of me saying leave.
How are we supposed to leave if you slash our tires?
Walk.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, we're not you. I'm definitely not used to this. What's your name?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Who are you and who are your friends?
Oh, well, my name's Gladys. Then there's Rose and Edgar.
Okay.
We were brought here to figure out what was going on with the cows because it was really weird.
Yeah. I told them stop going near that farm.
Do you know who or what it is?
Yeah. He's trying to see my mom again.
Oh, that's probably not good.
He's also losing his mind.
That's a little bit obvious.
He's not going to be happy, you know that, right?
Are we... We have no idea what's going on here. Things are weird. And we have to fix that.
I've been trying to fix it.
And maybe you could use some help fixing it.
Now he just needs more time. I need him to stay away from the dang farm.
Well, given that we were brought in from multiple states away, I somehow don't think you have more time.
And you think you three can stop him?
I have no idea. I know we're probably going to try.
You have no idea what he is, do you?
Nope. But you seem to. Will you tell me?
You didn't tell me not to, so I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. You know, the old European legends of vampires?
I've heard them.
Think that, just less easy to kill.
Don't they eat people? Don't they drink from people, not cows?
No, it doesn't really matter.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not great. What can he do? Because he doesn't look human anymore.
No, that's part of him going crazy. People come in here, they carve pig in the walls, they spray paint pigs on the damn side of the house. He has to be forced to look at it year after year, and he was being really good. Only taking what he needed. And then something just kind of changed. Right about the time that Mom got the new job.
New job? She's a secretary at the farm. Did she do something else
Yeah.
beforehand?
Yeah, she worked out of town. She moved back. She moved away shortly after I went and lived with my dad. She would pop in because, family and friends, but apparently she was having some issues.
Okay. Did you voluntarily go with your father?
accidentally more so than anything.
Okay.
We were being dumb playing out in the woods near dusk, and I fell down a hole.
And then he took
Broke.
you.
Yeah, well, I broke both my legs and almost died, so.
Okay.
And then he did what he did the first time, and it just made me better.
What did he do?
It's hard to explain without showing you.
Okay. Do you want to come in here so we're not talking through a window?
No, I'd like you three to leave before it gets too late and you're going to be stuck out on the roads.
Okay. If we leave, will you come talk to us tomorrow? Or can we meet somewhere to talk?
That depends.
On?
You going to tell anybody I was here?
Nope.
Okay. You're being
I can
truthful,
guarantee
right?
you I will at least not tell tonight.
And you're telling the truth, right?
Yeah. I will only tell Rose and Edgar.
Okay.
Well, telling Rose and Edgar, it's going to depend on how loud this conversation is.
That's fine. Don't barge in. Don't cause a problem.
He just kind of like lowers the bow. It's like, all right, I'll meet you tomorrow morning. I'll make sure he doesn't go too far tonight.
Okay. Where do you want to meet?
I haven't been anywhere near people in years.
I mean, it might take us a little bit, but we're going to have to go back out here for the truck anyway.
No, I can fix the tire. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Get you back on the way.
You tell me where you want us to be.
How about at the mouth of the aquifer?
Ugh. I guess.
Just stay there. I'll find you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into there and trigger that stupid trap again.
Oh, no. If you already made it go off, I ain't going to fix it again for another 2-3 weeks. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I will make sure that we are there in the morning.
Yeah. And I'll try to talk some sense into him.
Good luck. We're gonna not be caught on the road. We should leave now.
Yeah. He actually ducks out of sight.
Okay. Goes, finds Rose and Edgar.
Hey, where you been?
Almost getting shot.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I found something. I don't know what it was because I almost got shot. We are meeting, what's his name?
Marcus?
Marcus. We're meeting Marcus tomorrow at the aquifer. We have to leave now. And I will explain what's happening on the way. Because we need to leave and get to the farm before nightfall.
What? But the
Nope.
tires.
Start walking. Start walking.
Fine. Rose will just kind of exasperatedly throw her hands up and start walking out.
Yeah, I'm not any more happier than this than you are. I am not made for this. And once we start the walk back, Unless there's anything else you guys want to do first.
So, what are we gonna tell them about the truck? 'Cause they're gonna ask when we show up without it.
So, okay. You know vampires, right?
What about them?
That's what the dad is? I guess.
You say what kind?
What do you mean, what kind? We're getting more information tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, the dad's a vampire. He did something to the kid. I don't know. Again, more information tomorrow. But that's why we need to not be out on the street at night.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can't tell anyone about him at least tonight. / tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I'm at the kid. I mean, I guess I'm
Okay.
the dad.
Okay. Great. Fantastic.
Yep.
Wonderful. So what's our cover story about the truck?
The tire got blown out and we're gonna figure out what's going on with it tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, he said he could fix the tire too.
Okay.
So it would make sense to say that someone else offered to fix it up in case it ends up back at the farm.
Can you repeat that, please?
So would it make more sense to say someone else offered to fix it up in case it ends up back at the farm tomorrow morning?
It's not gonna end up back at the farm until we take it back. He's meeting us at the aquifer.
Okay.
He said he's gonna do his damnedest to make sure his dad's not going crazy tonight. Because apparently the mom, I forget what her name is, but she left and then she moved back and then that's when he started like doing all this shit. So he like lost whatever little bit of mind he had left when she came back. He's trying to get to her.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, it's not great.
Does any of this sound familiar to Rose, knowing her history?
Give me an intelligence and cult.
The dice gods were finally merciful. That's 5 successes.
You don't necessarily know what they're called, but you know there's a couple that are like super possessive over things, and if they lost their possession over that thing and then came back and they couldn't get it, it would drive them fucking crazy. Excuse my French, but yeah. So you've got a good idea of it might be one of the old ones from Eastern Europe, you think is where they originally are from? Or at least what you've heard of.
Well, if it's anything close to what I think it might be, this is really bad.
I mean, I think any sort of vampire thing would be really bad.
Oh, yeah, no, it is. Some are worse than others.
Okay.
So, who wants to navigate back to the farm? Through the woods that you don't know anything about.
I can try?
Edgar can give it a go too.
That'll be a wits and survival.
Yeah, I got 4 for that one.
I got nothing.
Okay. Am I good to roll? One.
Would you like Rose to attempt? Okay.
Go for it.
Edgar got us crazy lost. Glad's maybe got slightly less lost.
Okay, that's going to be a 3.
Okay. So Edgar starts tromping off through the woods, and you kind of follow him because, well, Edgar's good at this. Except he gets you lost. And then Gladys gets you on lost and back to the cabin, at the very least. Then Rose, you do point everybody in the correct direction. However, the issue being is the time it took to realize that you were lost, get on lost, and then back there. You're approaching dusk. And you're still probably half a mile from the edge of the pasture.
Guess it's time to run. A nice, healthy jog.
It's good for the heart.
So,
Yeah.
give me a stamina and athletics, please, everyone.
2.
1.
4.
Okay, so that seems fitting. Miss athletic everything, Gladys. You make it not even a quarter mile before you have to stop and slow down.
Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm not running.
Yeah, Edgar, you make it almost all the way there before you have to slow down. Old age is catching up to you, and yeah. Rose, on the other hand, you're gone. You make it to the edge of the pasture, and you kind of stop.
It's okay, Rose. Just leave
Over.
us.
With one of those things out there, not a chance in hell. Come here, I'll carry you if I have to.
However, can I get everybody to make me a wits and awareness, please? Because I assume that Rose waits for everybody.
3.
2.
5.
Okay. Everybody can hear it. You need it to. You hear twigs snapping, underbrush getting pushed aside. Sun's still up. Barely. Enough to probably deter anything from coming outside if they have an issue with the sun. However, they could possibly be up by now. As long as they stayed inside. And running from the underbrush is this fiery-haired individual in sweat-stained clothes. He running up to you. He's got a bow and arrow and a knife. And he's just like, Gladys,
What?
you need to get inside now.
I can't really run. We got lost.
He's just gonna lift up Gladys.
He woke up and he's
Great.
yeah.
Great.
There's no talking to him. There's something left there, but it's not a whole lot left.
Okay. Are you gonna be okay?
There's a reason why I'm running.
Okay. Guess you're coming with us.
Hold on.
What?
Take his pulse. I don't want him coming with us. Unless
Yeah,
he's,
he's sweating. He's not sweating blood. He's fine.
Well, you're closer than I am, so okay.
Yeah. Gonna try and push myself with my 2 dice.
Yeah. From here, it's like a 3-mile run to the main structure. There's no way that you're going to make it before dark. However, for every success that you guys give me as a team, I'll say you made it that much further toward there. It might be close enough to like get some attention. So, stamina and athletics, please.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, how many dice do you roll, Gladys, for that?
2.
2? Okay.
Yeah, just stamina.
Got 1.
I got 6 with a crit.
Okay. So you make it about 1.5 miles total. Rose, you're dragging the old guy and and Gladys. He just kind of looks at you. He's like, we're not going to make it. Do any of you got anything to like signal the people there? We're going to want help.
Just this, and Rose will lift up her rifle. If I crack off a few shots, you think they'll hear it?
Maybe. But so will the other thing.
Well, luckily he's coming here anyway, so worth a shot.
I was thinking more like a flare type situation.
Would Rose have anything to start a fire? Or not Rose, I'm sorry, Gladys.
Yeah, in her improvised gear. There's a roll for that, isn't there?
There's a roll for that. You want craft, tech, or science?
Let's go science on this one.
Three.
You can make a flare. Or something that burns real bright.
I can make something if you give me just a couple minutes. Please tell me you're not freaked out by fire.
No, but that might help us later.
Okay. Yeah, I need just a couple minutes of, like, not running.
Alright, huddle up.
Edgar's also going to take a sniff of this canteens and pass off the whiskey one to Gladys. Ask her for a little help.
Sure.
So yeah. Gladys, you take a couple minutes. You make a real basic makeshift thermite flare. It's really bright. It's really hot. It lights wet stuff on fire. So how would you like to go about making the signal?
So we're on the road, right? We're on the road.
You are in the pasture.
Oh. We can set everything on fire if I do something like this. Is there a spot with not much grass?
Somebody's got some sort of digging apparatus, right?
Maybe?
I thought Edgar had a shovel. Or camping equipment.
Yep, he does.
Okay, there's a shovel in there. So you can dig a little hole and, like, make yourself one.
Edgar, you need to start digging.
Alright.
Okay, so give me a strength and athletics just for fun. You need one success to not like completely screw it up.
I got 5.
Okay, yeah, no, it's like, oh, you need a hole? Okay, cool, and it's like 2 feet deep in like less than 2 minutes.
Okay, I don't need that. You know what? That's fine.
Yeah, and it's expanding out as he's doing this. So like you set the charge up and you figure out a way to ignite it. You set it off, and it burns hot and it burns bright. However, right about that time,
That'll get something's attention.
Start hearing pig snorts.
Marcus, real fast, does he have any other weaknesses that you can tell us?
Really, really doesn't like fire. I don't know a whole lot about a lot of the other stuff. I know he's fine with garlic.
Okay, what about metal
I don't know.
stakes?
Wood works better.
I don't have wood.
And he takes a couple of his arrows and snaps the arrowhead off and hands them to you. These will work.
Sure, I don't know how to force that into a body without an arrowhead, but okay.
Break it up in little pieces and just stick it on the end of one of your little metal sticks, and it might work. I don't know.
Sure. Can I crouch down near the fire and like just somehow wrap the wood around some of the metal stakes?
Yeah,
like twine it up.
Yeah, because this is absolutely just like hodgepodging it together at this point.
I have frugal, so I should be able to do this.
Yeah, give me dexterity and craft. I know that's not as good as your intelligence, but it seems.
No, that's fine. Weaponsmith still?
Yes, this would fit.
I'd love if I could roll more than 3 tonight.
You make one before you see a big hulking figure come out of the ground.
Okie dokie.
So, I need everybody's immediate action.
Fire.
Also
Which
fire.
one are you firing?
The stake one.
Okay.
Can I light it on fire first?
That might be a little bit much.
Okay, that's fine.
So, got fire, and I assume fire.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and give me the proper rolls for this. Whether it be dexterity and firearms or whatever else we said.
I'm gonna burn a willpower to reroll.
Okay.
It was Edgar.
I wrote down the damage modifiers, but I think mine would be dex and firearms, right?
At this point, yes.
Okay, after rerolling with the willpower, that is 6.
Edgar also got 6.
Okay.
2, and then if I could have used the aluminum, it has, or one of them has a +2 modifier to it.
Okay.
I have it under iron, but I don't know if it was supposed to be aluminum.
No, it's iron because it's heavier. So we got 6, and then we got how many?
Me, I rolled 2 and then +2.
Okay. So Gladys, your shot goes a bit wider than you had hoped. Edgar and Rose, on the other hand, you're sharpshooters, and you know you're gonna hit. So it would be I'm just doing math real quick. So I apologize.
Nope, that's fine. Oh boy, guys. This is not going to end well.
No, just keep stay close to the fire if you can.
And with that, the large figure comes into view, and he just kind of stares at Marcus, and he's like, "Put it down." And Marcus just like takes something out of his pocket and just drops it in the mud.
Marcus!
I can't help it. So, next round.
I want to grab the thing.
Okay.
Rose will cover for you.
Are you taking another shot or no?
Only if he moves towards Gladys.
So yes. Okay.
Edgar's also taking another shot.
Okay. So go ahead and take your shot.
Five.
Okay. That's more than I got. Then Rose.
4.
Again, more than I got. At which point he bounds toward the box and sees Gladys going for it. Gladys, can I please get a dexterity and athletics? Or just a dexterity? Okay, re-rolling with willpower then. That's probably a good thing.
Shit. 2. Great.
Okay. So, one of his weird hand things kind of gets stuck out and knocks you square in the chest, and you kind of get knocked on the ground. You take 3 superficial damage. As he just kind of stares at you after that, and he's like, "Stay down if you know what's best for you." And he picks up the item, which you see is the box. Everybody give me wits and awareness.
Four.
5. Sorry, 5.
6.
4, 5, and 6. Okay.
We did
All of
have a
you
lot.
can. Yeah, on those specifically. All of you, even in like the heat of the moment, see a set of headlights just bouncing across the pasture. They don't look like a tractor. They don't look like a truck. They look like just a regular car.
Too deep.
No, it's moving a little bit faster than the steamer can.
Oh, okay.
So, everybody's action.
Take another shot.
How close is Gladys to the vampire?
She's probably 4 or 5 feet. A whole lot closer than you really want to. Which reminds me, even with like the limited light, can I please get a sanity roll
And that's
from all of you at this point?
remind me what to roll for that one.
It is your unspent willpower.
Whew. 2 fails.
So you got 0.
Yep.
Also 0.
Guess that's 2 fails. Each
2
one of you, please
successes.
take. Okay. Each one of Gladys and Edgar take 1 sanity damage. You are up to 4 total edge at this point.
Oh. I only have 1 marked down.
But we lost those edges because we gained back sanity.
No, they actually stay.
Question for Storyteller. The implements that Gladys used to make the fire, does she still have those?
I mean, it's rust and aluminum shavings, so yes. There's extra stuff in there, but yeah.
How difficult would it be to make something to fling at him in the heat of the moment?
It would take the entire turn this turn, and if you wanted to throw it next turn, there would be a 2 dice penalty to actually get it ignited as you throw it.
I'm going to take the turn to do it this round.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intelligence and craft without the weaponsmith.
Two.
Would you like to spend any willpower on that?
I have 2 left.
I know.
Yeah, I guess. Four.
Okay. So you will get it completed well enough to where it will do something next round. Rose and Edgar, what would you like to do?
Rose will run up to where Gladys is fumbling on the ground doing whatever it is she's doing. Rose isn't exactly paying attention to that, and she's going to crack off another shot.
Edgar is also cracking off another shot.
Okay. Go ahead and give me those rolls, please.
Five.
Also 5.
Okay. So, Edgar, yours misses. He rolled 6. However, Rose, being as close as you are, seems to move a little bit slower. Yours lands solidly, squarely. He kind of cries out in pain. However, can I get you to make me a composure and resolve roll? As he just stares into your eyes. He's like, run away.
Just Rose?
Yes, just Rose.
That's 6 with a crit.
Okay. Now I know what I have to beat.
Oh, I can re-roll if I need to.
6, you say?
Mm-hmm.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you win. There was a part of you that was like, yeah, okay. No, I'm not. And when you don't move, he's going to take a swipe at you. So dexterity and athletics, please.
Sure.
Please roll well.
This is a very good pool for me, so hopefully I will. That is 4. I can re-roll if I need to.
Go ahead and re-roll.
Okay. I can do that. That would add another 2, so it's 6 total.
Okay. Just enough to jump out of the way of the whatever his hand actually is. It grabs your shirt and it just rips it. And he just kind of laughs a little bit. Then he turns to Marcus and is like, "Return to help, boy." So, next round. I have a feeling that I know what everybody's going to do. However, confirm that feeling.
I'm gonna fling this fire. Even if I don't hit him, I want to get close to him.
Okay.
Taking a shot.
Okay. So it's going to be a really weird pool for you, Gladys. It'll be dexterity and one of your mental stats, whether it be technology or science.
Science, please.
Okay. And then Rose, you're taking one more shot.
No, I'm going to take the dodge action. Quote unquote. I'm just preparing to dodge whatever comes at me.
Okay.
I only got 2. I'm real tempted to roll an edge. Would it help?
Potentially. I haven't rolled yet.
Thoughts, guys? This is either gonna go real bad or real good. I'm gonna do it. Oh no.
What happened?
I rolled a blank.
But it's not a 1, right? It's not the bad one, right? You're fine. So just 2? Okay. You do not hit, however. He absolutely kind of like, you can see him recoil. And he needs to make a frenzy check. Guess who just passed the frenzy check?
Not him.
Oh no, he did.
No.
So Edgar, your roll, please.
6 successes.
6 successes. I'm going to spend a willpower. Because this will be fun. I've only got 1 left, so I'm not going to spend any more. You do manage to hit him. It's not as solid as you initially thought it would be, but you do manage to hit him. Marcus will go after Rose with his knife. That is a strength and brawl. Rose, you can roll either strength or dexterity and athletics. Or brawl if you want to.
No, we're gonna go dexterity and athletics.
Okay, go ahead.
Four.
I got 5.
Ah.
So you take 3 damage as he sinks his knife pretty deeply into your leg.
Can I at least jerk my leg away before he can yank the knife out?
Give me a dexterity and brawl.
Sure.
And I will do the same pool against you.
That's another 4.
Yeah, you basically yank the knife out of his hand. Now, Rose, the fire pissed him off. However, the old guy that keeps shooting him is pissing him off more. So Edgar, dexterity and athletics, please. As the hulking figure looms over top of you, and just starts trying to just beat your face in, basically.
And did you mean Gladys?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay.
4.
Okay. I got 6. So you are going to take 3 damage. This is aggravated because feral weapons does aggravated damage to mortals. So you get tore up real bad. However, I also need you to make me another dexterity and athletics, please. You need 2 successes on this one.
4.
Okay, you pass that one. Big man needs to make me the same roll. Because all of you hear a meow, meow, as a car comes speeding in. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh no.
I got 2 skulls, and I
Oh
failed.
no.
Yeah, so he just kind of turns, looks at the car, and just kind of like shoulders it. He'll take a bunch of damage. However, the car is totaled. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it looks like a newer Chevy sedan. It's a 4-door. Who wants to take guesses who comes rolling out of the driver's seat?
Pasture owner.
Oh no, it's the mom.
No, it's not the mom.
Oh, okay. Paul or the librarian, but the librarian has no reason to be out in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's Paul. He kind of rolls out of the passenger seat, and you can hear like pump shotgun get racked. He's got some blood trickling down his what's it called?
Face?
His forehead. Yeah, and like the pig man just kind of locks it onto him. He's like, you can hear like a kind of guttural, like squeal snarl thing. If you ever pissed a pig off, it sounds like that.
Thankfully, I have not.
It's terrifying. So I need everybody's actions, please.
Shoot.
Shoot the big man.
Yep.
Okay. And then Rose.
Rose doesn't want him to have the knife back, but she also doesn't want him to take it from him because she knows he's stronger, so she's gonna toss the knife into the fire hole.
Okay. That one I'm gonna say that you just do. So, Faye, then give me those rolls, please.
2.
What'd you get, Nen?
Three.
Both of you miss. Paul pulls up the shotgun and like lays it across the open door. And he pulls off a shot. Pretty good. We'll see how this goes. And it's enough to make him mad. However, it's not enough to put him down. So, sequence of events that happens immediately preceding. Paul is jumped on. And you just see this long needle-like thing come out of this thing's mouth. He's going to try to start feeding off of Paul. Paul don't do so good. But yeah, immediately starts feeding off of Paul. Connects, sticks it into him. So he's attached to Paul at this point. Rose. Either strength or dexterity and brawl. Because Marcus is trying to push you into the fire.
Fantastic. Dexterity and brawl it is. Fuck it, I'm burning a willpower because I don't want to go in the fire.
You also have 3 edge.
I'll use that as a last resort. I still have a little bit of willpower left. Okay, that's a bit better. 4.
Would you like to spend any edge, or would you like to test that?
Fuck it, we'll spend the edge.
Okay. Let me know if you have an issue and roll a 1.
I'm good.
Was it a success?
Yes.
So, what will happen is, Rose, you feel a hand on your back, and instinctively you grab him and like flip him over. And he goes rolling into the fire. He immediately catches fire and his clothes go up in flame. Rose, sanity check, please. Because the smell and the sound are horrific. Everybody else is a little bit preoccupied with something else.
1 success.
Please take 1 off your sanity. And add 1 to the edge pool. I know, it just kind of keeps going up and down. I like this better than... Yeah. However, it is a new round. What would everybody like to do?
Is it possible to get point blank on that vampire now that he is occupied?
You mean like climb up on his back?
I mean, I don't know if I'd have to climb up on it, but like aiming down into the chest through the back.
You can aim up through the chest into the back.
Whichever way that's gonna work. As point blank as I can make it.
Yeah, you can work your way underneath. Can I get a wit and stealth from you though? So he doesn't like see you coming? Because I know what you're gonna do, I think.
Wow. So I rolled 3 crits, so it's only 4, 5, 6.
Okay. So you make your way into the area. What is everybody else doing?
Edgar is going to aim for the head and take a shot.
So will
Okay.
Rose.
Okay. So if you were specifically aiming for the head, it's 1 dice penalty. However, you can absolutely do that. Both of you are pretty good at what you do. So, and I assume that Gladys is going to try to go think.
Yep.
Okay. Are you also using the wooden tip bolt?
If I have another one, I think I only made one.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's the first one you should fire it off at.
Yes. Because I had it in her hand.
do
That's
not.
what she had in her hand.
So you do not. However, go ahead and give me your roll as well. You will suffer a major penalty for this roll.
Rose got 5 successes.
I rolled a 3.
Edgar is going to burn a willpower real quick.
I will roll an edge dice if I need to, but I rolled a 3.
6 successes.
Okay. So, in an almost orchestrated attack, you see a bolt come up through the chest, come out of the back, carrying a bit of carnage with it. Then you see one side of the jaw go poof, and then the rear of the head, as they kind of hit the same exact spot, just one slightly before the other, opening the cavity up. And the head just goes bloop. And Paul falls off onto the ground. Still alive. Way worse for wear, though. And at this point, Marcus is running through the field screaming. He has taken off his clothes, however, his skin is on fire. So, yeah. So that smell is everywhere. And the body of the large figure starts to disintegrate. It's not quite dust, but it's a desiccated goo. Until eventually just bones are left.
You should toss the bones into the fire.
Gladys is going to drag herself over to Paul and see if there's anything she can do.
Edgar's going to help with that.
Go ahead and give me intelligence and medicine.
Three. I do have a point in medicine.
Also 3.
Both of you kind of come to the same conclusion. He's going to be okay, but it's like he just got stabbed with a spear in the chest. He looks a little bit pale, but given you know what the thing was, that makes sense. Rose, as you're going through the remains, you find the object that fell out of the pocket and into the dirt. And it's that same wooden box that Gladys found.
She'll take it and she'll peek inside.
You open it up and it's very plain, hand-carved wooden ring with a diamond inlaid in it. On the lid it says, "My dearest Dorothy." And then it actually has, it looks like an old small picture of Dorothy when she was younger and what you assume was Pigman.
Marcus probably isn't coming back, is he?
Maybe you shouldn't have thrown him into the fire.
Yeah, well, maybe he shouldn't have attacked me.
I don't think he gave him a choice. And Rose is just like collapsed next to Paul. Just chilling on the ground.
Yeah, you're all pretty worse for wear.
I can go take a look for him.
At this point, you see kind of a ball of flames that isn't moving a ways off in the pasture. You assume that's probably Marcus.
Oh. So much for the handbook to go with you alive.
I think it's fine.
Better off this way.
Is the car usable?
The radiator's probably busted, but you can probably drive it back.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are up for walking.
It's just my chest. I know you got an issue with your leg, and you got. I don't know what happened to you, but you got stuff.
How you doing, Paul?
My chest hurts. Feeling a bit woozy, but it'll be okay.
Yep.
Wear off after a while, Rose says very detachedly.
I don't want to move between the running and this. I'm good.
Will
He
someone
kind of reaches.
come looking if we take long enough?
Oh yeah, 2 fires in the field. They'll come. And he kind of reaches up. He pops open the back door. Go ahead and lay down in the back if you want to.
Yep. Make her
And
way
I'll hoist
inside,
himself.
leaving just enough room for someone else to sit in the back.
And he hoists himself up and puts himself in the driver's seat. Are you two coming, or are you going to stay out here?
Edgar will jump at the back with Gladys.
Rose will ease herself up as best she can.
And yeah, you make it back to the farmhouse, then you hear a rapid succession of clicks, and then a ting and a through the hood.
Oh, good. I don't think I can fix that.
Oh no, that's a throwing rod. I need a new engine. Probably need a new car. Place would be really mad, but it's okay.
You know, at least she came back alive.
Oh, we should probably tell him about the truck that's over at the abandoned house.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get somebody to go pick it up.
The tire got slashed.
We don't know if he fixed it before he came back. He said he would, apparently. And Rose will just kind of look at Gladys.
I don't know. I would assume not.
Well, it's fine. We've got a mechanic here. He's real good.
You seem to be taking this real well, Paul.
I don't think it's set in yet.
That's fair.
Tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I'll be about 24 deep before it sets in.
Yep.
I think I need a vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, probably good idea there.
He rolls out of the car at this point and kind of walks up to the door, opens it, and he's like, "Your beds are still upstairs.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna go lay down in my office."
If you need medical attention.
Oh no, should be fine.
I was gonna say, I
stuff.
hope you weren't gonna say you've had worse.
Oh no. And he like stumbles inside. You hear a refrigerator door open. And like some rustling of like glass bottles. And then like a thunk. And then a couple other thunks on the on a counter.
Yeah, I think it's time to go lay down.
Worry about him drinking after losing his blood.
Well, you're free to go tell him to not do that.
I don't think my leg will let me.
Yeah, we need to get upstairs.
So you make your way inside and make your way past the break room. And he's just sitting there with a couple like old glass bottles of milk. And he's just like sipping on them slowly with like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And he just kind of waves at you when he walks by. He's got a completely blank expression.
We should probably check on him in the morning.
And you do make it upstairs. And while you don't really sleep, you get rest. You're all hurting fairly bad. Rose, you kind of field dress your leg wound. The other random wounds that you have really aren't deep enough or wide enough to warrant stitches. Doesn't make them any less nasty though. Next morning, you wake up to multiple people in the room. Eugene's there, Paul's there, Paul's wife is there. And you only know that Paul's wife is there because she's like still trying to like fix his chest. And Dorothy's there as well. Along with another person that you don't actually know who it is.
Hi.
Hi. We didn't want to wake you up.
Sure. This
Rough
is a
night.
little bit more weird.
We had to make sure that all of you were going to be physically okay.
Who are you?
The sheriff.
Okay.
Official report says bear attack.
Sure. Mean bear. Didn't like fire.
What was that, and why is there a burnt corpse out there now?
You know, it's just one of those really weird things that pop up now and then.
Right, I just need to know exactly what it is.
How much do you believe in the supernatural?
That's a
What do
pretty
you
bold
want
move,
me to
even by my
say?
standards.
What do you want me to
maybe-
say?
Maybe we should start with the burnt body in the field. That one's a little bit easier to start with.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
is.
Who or what is it then?
Rose is gonna give Dorothy kind of a look.
Yeah, that's why I
It
don't
might
know
not-
if it is.
It might not be the easiest thing to divulge in present company.
And she just kind of looks at you, all in. That was Marcus and Pierre, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Rose is gonna quietly pull out the box and offer it to her.
Yeah. There was a reason why I left the first time.
And you came back.
Because I didn't think that they'd still be around.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't leave.
Kept saying something about domain. He left a really badly written letter on the door the night that the last attack was.
Can we take a look at that?
I don't know if it matters much now.
If you can decipher it, I couldn't make heads or tails. And she actually pulls it out, and it looks like a 3-year-old wrote it. Legible, barely. Give me an intelligence and either academics or insight. If you've got anything for ciphers, this would be a good time to use it.
I rolled intelligence and insight and got 3.
Also got 3.
Okay. And then Gladys got
4.
Okay. So
Maybe 5.
Rose,
I don't know. I bumped 1. I don't know if it flipped or not.
Yeah.
So
okay. So Rose and Edgar, you both kind of read the letter, and you can't really make heads or tails of it. You know, it's got a lot of like really obvious words in there, like home, match, love, stuff like that. Gladys, on the other hand, you can make out just enough with a really bad handwriting to get a gist of a message saying the old plan to domain, stay strong, I still have dominion over the area. I am happy that my love has come back to me. I still have the ring.
reading that out loud.
Not exactly 100% of what I said, but that's what you can kind of surmise is what he was trying to put out.
Yeah.
And Dorth kind of just starts crying a little bit. She's like, I told him when we were younger that I couldn't. And I definitely couldn't now. And he just wouldn't take no for an answer, so I had to do what I did. Is this my fault?
I don't think so. You don't really control people or whatever he was. Things, people. You can't control them.
Rose and Gladys, go ahead and give me intelligence and hope. Edgar, I'm sorry you don't have the backup for it.
3.
Also 3.
Okay. So, Gladys, you've done enough research into subjects. And Gladys, you have been taught enough. Or Rose, you've been
Rose?
taught enough. Yeah. I know what I'm trying to say, I promise. you know what the old plan. And specifically Rose, you know what that entails. Gladys, you don't fully know. You know they're scary. But I mean, all blank.
We all are. Yeah, they're all scary.
You see Rose kind of shrink into herself a little bit and go oddly still and quiet for her as she thinks, before turning to Dorothy and asks, "You trying to make you like him?"
No, he just tried to keep me with him forever. Said if I drank from his arm, I could live forever.
What did you do?
Not exactly. You would have had to do everything he said, though. So that's why Marcus attacked us. Hi, Sheriff. That's why I asked if you believe in the supernatural.
And Sheriff's just like, yeah, you lost me.
Yeah,
while ago.
that's fine. It's a weird thing that happens to some people, and you just gotta roll with it.
So, unofficially, what was it?
Mean Bear.
No, unofficially.
Vampire?
Very old.
I
Or
mean, we
one
don't know
of
how
a
old.
Very old. One of the older.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the clans themselves. I think this one was from Europe.
So like, the whole, who wrote that book? The Dracula book.
Yeah, sort of.
One of them?
Sort of. Based off
Okay.
of. We'll go with that.
So you're saying that was a biography rather than a work of fiction?
I mean, it might have been. I don't know.
The way I was taught, the less you know.
Yeah, you start to
Might be
lose it a little bit.
better to.
So what I'm hearing is don't tell anybody.
No. They'll come looking for you, and then you'll go missing.
Okay. He kind of turned the phone and is like, stays between us then. Got it.
Bear.
Y'all. Yeah, there. Y'all have a good day, I guess.
You too.
If you need to get checked out anymore, we got a doc coming in town. He'll be here in a couple hours.
Oh, good.
And the sheriff leaves. Dorothy at this point is kind of like sitting in the corner. She's kind of lightly sobbing to herself. Paul kind of looks over and is like, so I got a promotion.
After last night, you've earned it.
Yeah, I get to move back home. Apparently gonna be an executive.
Congratulations.
Oh, where are you from?
Oh, Montreal.
Oh, you're a ways away from home.
Oh yeah, but good pay and all that.
Even better now.
Oh yeah. And I get to hire my wife as my secretary.
Oh, that'll be great.
If you're ever in Canada, let me know.
Yep. We apparently go all over the place, so maybe.
Something tells me Canada doesn't have as many weird things going on.
I don't know, you guys got a lot of wilderness.
Yeah, you got a lot of unexplored areas for things to hide.
Yeah, but they stay away from people.
Probably.
The wife wanted me to tell you. Kind of looks over at her and she kind of like nods. We're having a big kind of going away party tonight. Big old like food fest and all that fun stuff. If you want to come by before you leave, more than welcome.
Okay.
We'll have stuff like I don't know. It's kind of a
Please
mix
tell
of
me-
everything.
Please tell me there's something other than pig.
Yeah, no pig. I don't know if I'm going to be eating pork anytime soon. Except for bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon's okay.
It's gonna be a while for me.
Yeah. I can understand why.
Yeah. Gladys will make her way over to Dorothy a little bit and like awkwardly pat her on the back. Can I do anything for you?
Oh no. I just need to process. Maybe it's time for me to retire. Go down to Florida. I'm sure it's better there.
It's very sunny there.
And it's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And she kind of like stares off in like out a window. Do you think they wanted to be like that?
From what I could read of the letters, I don't think Pierre gave Marcus much choice.
Okay. I'm sorry for if this was even remotely my fault. I'm sorry.
You
It's not.
don't control people. People make choices. Even things that aren't quite people.
Yeah, but then I made the false police report because I got scared and then I have Marcus and we weren't married. So,
Well, that's something you'll have to deal with and live with. There's no way of telling one way or the other.
yeah, I think getting away from here is going to be a better idea for me.
Are the others listening in the room?
Paul's off, like walking down the hall at this point. Eugene's still sitting there.
Do you want to be a new new person?
Kinda,
Kind of leave everything behind?
a little bit.
I can do that. You just can't tell anyone.
Okay. How?
With forging some papers.
Well, I've already broke the law once. Why not do it again?
I mean, it's up to you. I don't have to. But you'd be a whole new you. I did it.
Yeah, well, sure.
Okay.
And at this point, she kind of gets up, makes sure everybody's okay, and she walks out as well. Then it's just Eugene in the room.
Dealing with people is so exhausting.
Yeah, that's why I like animals.
I don't. I just want to be in my workshop.
Yeah, that's the problem with society is in order to live, you have to make money. In order to make money, you have to deal with people.
Ugh.
So it wasn't a new species, which is unfortunate.
The opposite.
Yeah, very, very old.
Yeah, maybe it's time for me to actually be more academic rather than field research. I'm cut out for it, but it can get dangerous.
I mean, I don't think many of your cases are going to be being trampled by cows and then running into vampires.
Right. But I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years and I've effectively learned the life cycle of mayflies.
I hate those things.
And me too. I understand the gestation of wolves and bears and coyotes and moose for some odd reason. But I think I'm just gonna, I don't know, go somewhere out west and just gonna settle down.
Is this our fault?
No. Seeing what you guys have gotten into and seeing the kind of issues that you can have if you run into the wrong thing kind of put it in perspective for me. The cow was enough to like make me wake up to it, the possibility, but you have stitches. They're not very good, but you have stitches. You two probably need them, but
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
at this point, I don't know how good they would do for you.
I just really want a shower.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Do you want to be a new person too?
No.
Okay.
Too well respected in the community.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I'll go out like Oklahoma or Arkansas or something. Who knows?
Life's short. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
If you do need or want a new identity, let me know.
Nah, it should be fine.
Just saying. You already know, so might as well throw it out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you're ever in the area, get a hold of me. I'll let you know exactly where I end up.
Something tells me at some point we probably will be.
Yeah, I'll make sure to be a little bit more useful out in the field next time, though.
I mean,
Outside of the animal expertise.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm not very useful outside of my area expertise. I couldn't even run a couple miles. I should probably fix that.
You got that. Yeah, but you got that weird crossbow metal rod thinger.
Yeah, I mean, I made
Yeah.
that in Washington, but like, it didn't help too much. Except
No,
at
but
the
that
end.
fire sure did.
Yeah, I wonder if I could make these catch on fire.
What did you use to make the fire?
I honestly couldn't tell you right now.
Was it like a gunpowder charge, or was it like thermite, or was it like, what was it?
It was a little bit more like thermite, but like it was. I just kind of grabbed stuff. I wasn't 100% paying attention.
Well, realistically, that stuff's pretty volatile. So if you hit it hard enough, it might go up in flames.
Yeah, I need to make a bola first.
They're useful.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had our tires slashed if I had one.
Fair. You can buy them, right?
Where's the fun in that? Plus, I couldn't customize it to this then.
Fair. Yeah, I guess. I would say that I'd help you, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's fine.
Everybody's gonna be okay though, right?
You should be.
Yeah, I'll be okay. I think that the bleed's slowing down. It doesn't hurt quite so bad anymore, so I think I'm gonna be okay. Beyond some scars, I think all of you will be physically. Mentally, it might take a minute, but who knows?
Take it as it comes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll write up my official report of rabid bear as well. I am, however, interested in if you run into anything else that's particularly odd, that is of a more natural sense. Let me know. If you can get samples, I'll pay you for them.
Natural in what way? Like actual animal or?
Yeah, don't make it like a vampire because I can't do anything with that.
You
Like
don't
a
want
werewolf or
I mean, I got chips of a weird scale that we found.
if it's not of an actual animal, I'm not wanting to touch it.
Not a real,
I've had my fill
real
of
animal.
Yeah, I've had my fill of weird stuff that isn't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, any like megafauna, any previously thought to be extinct animals, send them my way if you have any samples. 'Cause I'll
Those
pay
would be
you.
interesting.
Apparently there's like a giant saltwater crocodile off the coast of Australia. I'm trying to get a sample of it. Seeming to be a little bit difficult.
Giant. Did they say how giant?
I don't have a specific length, but it's like 10% larger than an average fully grown male, and it's a female, so considerably bigger than it should be.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. If you ever get samples of anything weird like that, just keep me in mind. Or depending on where I go, I guess we could probably work on getting it or the specimen shipped.
We're pretty crafty when it comes down to the wire. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Well, Gladys is.
Yeah, and the bigger the sample, the more I'm going to pay you. Just keep that in mind, too.
Okay, will do.
And Eugene hops up and walks out as well, leaving Rose, Edgar, and Gladys alone for the first time in over 24 hours.
So, have you two dealt with these before?
I know about them.
Rose kind of rubs her neck awkwardly and looks down at her feet. I've had more experience than I'd like.
I see.
I mean, you're lucky if you haven't. So I would very much like that doctor to take a look at me, but we should probably clean these first. Because we just kind of crashed last night.
Oh, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, honestly.
Hey, how are you? And Edgar takes his whiskey canteen and just jumps it onto where the cut is.
That looks very painful.
It is. There you go.
I'm just gonna go take a shower.
Rose will accept the whiskey bottle and, dab some on, a rag or a shirt or something that she's not using. And use it to more gently clean the cut and haphazard stitching.
You two are crazy. Why would you want to hurt more doing that? I hurt enough.
Not the first time for me, if you can't tell.
That's fine.
Sometimes when you're out in a field, it's all you've got.
We're not in the field right now. We're in a house.
Well,
With
we'll
a
go down
doctor
and
on the
see
way.
the doctor when they get here, but
I can't even with you
Is
two.
it?
You're just... I can't even. I don't... No. She'll leave.
As she leaves, hey Gladys,
What?
how easy is it for you to get someone a new identity? Does it take you a while?
I mean, it takes a little bit of effort, yeah? There's a lot of documents. So at some point, she'll start working on that.
Okay. So, Gladys, you get your shower. Eventually, Rose and Edgar also join. Not at the same time, but
Join in being clean.
Yes. And the doctor does show up after about an hour and a half. Fixes the stitching, cleans up any wounds, and the one that Edgar sustained, he puts the flexible stitching in. It's not the actual stitches. It's a very rudimentary form of butterfly stitches. Gladys, on the other hand, you actually don't really require any. You just were beat to hell and back.
Yeah.
You've got some nasty bruises. You got a couple smaller scratches, but nothing that requires stitches. They clean everything, get all the dirt out, get all the debris out. Make sure that you're physically okay. And then they hand you the number to a psychiatrist.
Oh, good. Just what I need.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to be in the area for very long, but they're pretty good.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I figured as much. You're from out of town, right?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, lunchtime rolls around. You all get ready, and you see the other truck gets pulled up with a brand new shiny rim and tire. As well as just another random truck pulls up. Somebody comes up, gets you. It's like, want to go to Paul's or you want to go to the bus station? Or do you
What?
want to go to the bus station and just walk to Paul's?
What? Who is this?
Just the ride to get you back into town.
Oh.
Probably just head straight to Paul's.
That's fair. And he piles everybody into his truck and takes you down there. Paul and his wife and their 3 kids kind of greet you with open arms. A bunch of people are there. Dorothy's there. Some of the workers are there that you saw. And the librarian's there, actually. She only lives like 2 houses over, so. And you have quite the feast, and it's not your typical, like, country American fare. It's got a lot more, well, variation, put it that way. You got some French food in there. You got some Polish food like pierogies.
Yeah.
Because everybody likes pierogies.
How can you not?
There's some Russian, some Turkish, some Italian food, like actual Italian food.
A whole
So good
spread.
good little mix. Nothing too odd for a typical American palate, though. So
Gladys would make the rounds and go to Evelyn.
and she's kind of just sitting off in the corner by herself, as typical for her.
I don't know what the others are doing.
Yeah. What are the others doing?
Drinking.
There's a couple bottles of wine that you can drink.
Nibbling
Also a
here
couple.
and there and just kind of listening to people talk.
Okay. So Rose, you get some people like spreading rumors around. I heard it was this. I heard it was that. I heard it was blah 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 blah. Edgar, your choices are wine or beer. Neither of which are overly good. However, they're free, so
I'll take what you can get.
figured as much, and as much as you can get, right?
Yep.
It ends up feeling like a competition between you and Paul at one point of who can get drunker faster. But it is what it is. And then Gladys, you make your way over to Evelyn. She sees you coming. She kind of smiles at you.
Hi.
Oh, hi. I assume you'll be leaving town soon?
Probably really soon. We
That's unfortunate.
figured out what was going on.
I know there's been a lot of rumors of like wolves and bears and coyotes, and I don't believe any of it.
Good.
It's going to be unfortunate having the only seemingly smart people in town leaving.
I mean, Rose told us that you saw it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I guess was at this point. I just know it wasn't normal.
Do you want to stay the way things are now? Or do you want to actually know?
I absolutely want to know, but I understand that sometimes you can't tell people what you want to know.
Are we being listened to?
Give me a wits and insight.
Just a 2.
Okay. If you are, nobody's being overt about it.
I'm sorry I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I mean, obviously, I'd like to know what it was, but if you can't tell me for whatever reason, I'll understand.
It's not that I can't. It's that it's going to change how you look at everything.
I take everything with a grain of salt already, so...
We look into things that shouldn't exist. Strange things.
Like 6.5 feet tall pigmen in the middle of Vermont.
That was actually a vampire.
Oh. And she just kind of like stares into her plate for a little bit. And that's actually fascinating.
Terrifying, but yes.
Potato tomato at that point. Similar, not quite the same. But yeah.
Do you want to stay here?
No.
You
I
wanna
hate
go
it
with
here.
us?
I mean, I would love to, but I don't know if we can make that happen.
We have employment. We're employed. Technically not, but we are.
As long as I don't ever actually have to go fight anything.
Okay, so I have an idea, right? I have a garage, and there's no one actually there to run it when I'm not there.
Okay.
If you think you can do some of that part of it, and like that's the front here. But like we do our
So-
actual stuff.
So, like, be a bookkeeper?
Yeah.
That's basically what I do now. It's just that I'm literally a bookkeeper rather than,
I mean, you'll be
Accountant.
literally a bookkeeper too, because I think Rose is, and I have books. Rose might be bringing books. Like there's books.
Are there books on this type of stuff?
Some. And more when we can find them.
Okay. When are you leaving?
I don't know. Rose, Edgar,
I
when are we leaving?
don't know. Did the driver say when the buses were leaving?
I don't know.
Paul drunkenly stumbles over. Oh no! The next bus leaves at 10:15. It's in a couple hours.
So that one or the one after that? When's the one after
Hold
that?
on. 8 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know if Edgar's going to be in a great mood then.
Yeah, we might want to catch the other one.
He can be grumpy on the bus.
We'll just blend right in.
Yep.
I don't know many people that actually like taking the bus.
Is it too soon for you?
I need to go pack. And she just like hands you her half-eaten plate and just kind of like walks out.
You just grab it and set it down. Rose,
Rose
come here.
Rose will meander over, seeing her get up.
I invited a friend. We have a bookkeeper now.
Yes! Oh,
I
was
didn't think you'd
hoping
be
she would
upset.
say yes. No, I'm very excited. I was hoping she would say yes. I was hoping this would happen. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I know we can, like, kind of talked about it a little bit, but, like...
How much did you tell her?
I mean... I was very open about what happened here. And she was okay with it, as long as she didn't have to be out with us.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Understandable.
Yeah. Wish I had the choice. Anyway, so she's gonna stay and running the garage, sort of, when we're out.
Okay.
Drags Edgar over. Drink over here for a minute.
Oh, hey,
Can you
there
still
are.
understand me?
Yeah.
Okay. Evelyn is coming with us.
Oh,
The librarian.
thought she was with Miss Nichols.
No, we are. She's not. Well, she is now, somewhat. We need to talk to Miss Nichols, but she's at least with us.
Talking about the older lady, right?
No.
No.
I can't even. Like, what? You can't even talk to you. Stop drinking.
Oh no, let him keep going. Maybe he'll sleep the most of the bus ride, and then we won't
You know what?
have to deal with him until we get back.
You know what? That's true. Give me your flask. I'm going to go fill it for you.
There you go.
Fill it with whatever's available.
Not great wine, but it's there.
Yep. Gonna keep that on her so he doesn't drink from that. That's gonna be for the bus ride.
Okay. So you continue to party the night away until about 10 o'clock, and then you walk over to the bus station. Evelyn's already there, and she's practically vibrating with excitement.
I figure as I walk in, Edgar drunkenly singing British war songs.
That seems fitting.
You're so weird, Edgar.
You all get your tickets. You get one for Evelyn. You hop on the bus and you start heading out of town. Go ahead and give me one last wits and awareness, please.
Oh, jeez.
What penalty do I get?
You get, at this point, probably a 2 dice penalty.
Two.
Nothing.
Or
Okay, so Gladys, you're too busy talking to your new friend. Edgar, you're on the verge of passing out. Rose, you're wide awake and you're looking into the forest. And the trees are streaming by. You get just to the edge of town. You swear just for a second. you see a pair of reflective eyes and a long-limbed, kind of gangly-looking person in a very nice suit. Just sitting there smiling with larger than normal teeth. However, that's just for a second. As you blink and he seems to be gone. A heavy mist, however, descends on the area quite quickly. And you're out of the area for rather quickly. On the highways, headed south, back home. You do make it back rather quickly. Quicker than you expect. Get back to the garage and Smokey's there. Still working away.
Oh, ooh. Before we left, can I have given new paperwork to oh my god, what was her name? Deborah?
Dorothy?
Dorothy, that one.
You can mail it to her.
Okay.
She would have given you
Yes.
a mailing address.
Then yeah. Okay. Never mind then. Smokey, we have a new friend. This is Evelyn.
Well, that's nice to meet you, miss. She kind of like nods a little bit. So, where am I going to be kind of working, I guess?
Okay, just stop yelling.
Edgar, go lay down. You're so grumpy.
Or dunk your head in some cold water.
Do not.
That'll just make him more grumpy. This is the garage that doesn't really have a name yet.
We'll workshop that. Gotta
Yeah.
have a name.
Yeah.
And that way we can actually like put like ads out and get revenue in on that side of the business so it looks legitimate, and then we won't have the IRS taking care of it.
Yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot of time with this before we got sent down to Vermont. Or whatever we were. I don't even remember.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take care of all that paperwork for you. Just let me know what to put on the applications for all like
Sure.
business license and all that fun stuff.
I'll get back with... I'm not great at naming things. I'll get back with you soon on that. I'm taking recommendations, Rose and Edgar.
Okay,
Smokey.
I'll keep those in mind and start thinking about something. Sure you don't have anything in mind?
When I was
Wait a
acquiring this, the name does not seem important to me.
It is kind of technically your garage, so I don't want to stick you something you're not going to like 2 months in, 3 months in, you know?
It really probably doesn't matter too much. We'll think on it. We can do the
Okay.
paperwork soon.
And from in the back of the garage, here's Smokey's grease trap.
No!
Well,
We want people to actually come here.
Fair.
Gladys's Chop Shop.
What?
Gladys's Chop Shop.
Lay
That sounds
down.
illegal. Yeah, that sounds a little illegal.
I got one for you.
What?
And Smokey comes out wiping his hands. Bigfoot garage.
No.
Oh, come on now.
Might as well call it the Vampire Garage.
I was thinking just call it Jim's.
No! Yeah, Smokey ran into a vampire this last one.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Y'all ain't got bit, right?
Nope. No, but someone got a thing
Good.
through their chest because that's apparently how that one ate. It was weird.
Sure wouldn't
Well,
be.
in hindsight, that explained the hole in the cows.
Yeah, it was draining cows, and like I could stick an entire thing down a cow, like a reed down a cow, and it just like kept going. It didn't stop.
Well, that's weird.
It
Anyway,
was gross.
I got a thing back here I got to work on. So, an actual paying customer, before you ask.
Holy wow! How'd you get that?
Made something for him, and then he was like, "How about cars?" I was like, "Sure."
Cool. We could use money.
Always.
Yeah. He's asking me to put extra hidden compartments in his car, so
Oh,
That's
that's
a.
cool.
not asking questions. I don't care.
What kind of car?
Just come here. Then you go
Cool
back
now.
there, and it's just like an old, like bootlegger car. Pretty sure it's just for historical purposes, but I don't ask questions.
Yeah, that's fine. Less we know, the less we get in trouble.
Yeah. Officially replacing the rear end. Officially.
We should get a car and have you do the same thing. We should get other vehicles, but do similar things.
Y'all did ask me to do that, and I found one. It needs a little bit of work, but between you, me, and probably Edgar. I don't know how mechanically inclined you are, Rose. We could probably make it work.
What is it?
It's an old delivery truck. It's got a wood bed, so we can throw that out and get steel and put it in there. It's also a tilt bed too, so that helps.
Yeah.
I'm not the most mechanically inclined, but I know a wrench from a screwdriver, so I could at
Oh,
least
you can
pass
hand
you
us
the
things.
tools.
I'll work on that deal.
Okay. We should probably go talk to Miss Nichols.
Oh yeah, probably. She called. She said if I had any updates, let her know. I know y'all busy though, so.
Should we bring Evelyn with us?
We should probably call ahead and ask.
I don't want to have that conversation.
I'll do it.
Okay, so who is calling up home office?
I said I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, so rings about twice. And Nichol's Investigative Company. And how can I help you?
Hey, this is Rose. Just calling with an update.
Oh, good. Everything okay? Or you back?
We're back. It's decent. Officials. I mean, we can go over the detail. It's probably better to go over if you want the details in person. And probably, if you want the details, period, it's probably better to go over them in person. Long story short, been resolved. Wasn't the best time, but we got it resolved. Official story is Rabid Bear. And we made a new contact who is willing to work with us.
Okay. I don't need to know the contact if it's going to be handled on your side. If it's going to be handled on my side, then obviously I'm going to have to meet them. But I'll stick with the official report for this one. I feel like there's a lot more baggage to unpack there. So we're good. You don't have to give me the official report. You said it was resolved, so that's all that really matters. I have a gut feeling, so it's good you took care of it. Take some rest and relaxation. If I get something else come by, I'll send it over your way.
Okay.
The money will be deposited probably tomorrow. It's a little bit late today, so should be available to use by the end of the week.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks. I guess.
Also, that smoky guy that you got working there,
Yeah.
tell him be careful with that car. It was my husband's.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just tell him to be careful with the car. Had somebody else bring it in. All right. Have a good day. And you hear the receiver hang up.
Okay. First order of business. Hey, Smokey!
Yeah.
Take it easy on that car.
I mean, I'm taking it as easy as I could.
That's all we
Why?
need. Let's just say it's important to someone.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then Rose will turn back to Gladys. So, good news. Took the official report. Doesn't want details. Doesn't need to meet Evelyn unless we think the two are going to be interacting a lot.
I don't
And
know.
we should have our money by the end of the week.
Great. I don't know if they're going to be interacting a lot. If we need to introduce them, I guess we can do it later.
Okay. I mean, if Evelyn's gonna be fielding calls for us while we're gone, it might be a good idea to at least, I don't know.
Okay, did she say when you wanted to meet her then?
No, didn't give any specifics. Just said if we're gonna be
Okay.
interacting, it's probably a good idea for me to meet them. So,
So, should we go do that now?
maybe a little bit later. As Nick said, we should probably get some rest. And considering my leg still aches, like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm one giant bruise right now. I do have some paperwork I could work on.
And yeah,
Probably the better I get that,
What?
sooner I get that done, the better.
we'll let Edgar sleep off his hangover a little more, and maybe talk about introducing Evelyn to Miss Nichols at some point.
Oh, did you want a new name?
Oh no, not for me.
Do you want someone to have a new name?
I do, but I don't know if they do. That's the problem.
Well, let me know. Just talking to Evelyn. Oh, by the way, I can make people new identities if you want one.
I'm okay.
Please don't
Thanks,
go to the
though.
police about this.
You employ me. Why would I take away that income?
You know, I have no idea.
I don't bite the hand that feeds me.
I mean, technically, we haven't fed you yet, so.
It's the expression. First things first, though, this office is a mess, so I've got to clean this up. So
Okay.
she runs off to the office. And officially, that is where this particular case will end. However, because I took a running checklist of everything that you guys had done, the only negative that you guys took was you activated the trap.
There's a lot, Gladys.
Hey.
There was stuff down in that cave that, had you found, I would have given you a little bit extra.
Should have kept
experience.
going
However,
anyway.
You could have. I just didn't think that you would, given the group and how I know how you guys roleplay. So, award yourself 4 experience for finishing this. You took care of the problem instead of just running from it. You interacted with Marcus and didn't immediately kill him.
I'm sad he got
found...
tossed to the fire.
Yeah, that's fine. He wasn't a hinge pin on extra experience because, Dometer and all that fun stuff. And then the only thing that was kind of left in kind of like limbo is, but you kind of helped in a way, is the whole Dorothy thing. So, yeah, you got everything. You got a new contact. So congratulations.
Do you want a roll for the mask?
No, I'm going to allow you to just kind of do that. You've got plenty of time to get it done right before the next case comes by, which is going to be roughly 2 months, and it's 1 sanity per month. So what is everybody at? What is their max?
I'm down 2.
Edgar is also down 2, and his max is 4.
My max is 5.
Okay. So everybody should be fully back up on sanity. All wounds should be fully healed. All willpower damage should be fully healed.
Are the edge dice resetting?
Yes, they are. And then one final point of contention. I need a D50 roll or D100.
I rolled it last time. If one of you want to roll it.
Dan, are you doing it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I will be rolling D100. Four.
You say 4. I have to find where I put this thing.
Is that where we should end the episode tonight, though?
Let me find it. And I will let everybody know where we're headed next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do it on my phone because it's faster. So I do apologize for any dead air. However, thoughts on Pigman?
It was interesting.
Surprised only one person died.
2 technically, but
Is a kindred a person though?
oh no, I was thinking of the guard that got.
Oh yeah,
got-
that's true. I
But-
forgot about him.
Pros and cons, Marcos.
You said 4, right?
Yes.
We're going to Massachusetts.
Oh,
Oh wow,
interesting. Wonder what could be there.
Oh, I don't know.
Guess we'll find out. I
I bet
have
it's Ghost. I bet it's
A
Ghost
good-
because Massachusetts is old as fuck.
Or a witch.
Who knows? We'll find out. So yeah, Massachusetts next time.
Oh, I think I can buy the Fleet Edge.
Yes. Before next time, figure out what all you want as well. So, officially, we're going to end the game here for tonight. So, announcements. Go to totalpartykrit.com, find all of our personal bios, character bios, find all of the pages and links for all of our games that we run. Blood and Hope Detroit being Tuesday. Nichol's Cryptid Catchers being Thursday. And then Life and Blood Atlanta being Saturday. Join us on Twitch, which you can find a link to that on totalpartykrit.com as well as all of our socials, which are also on totalpartykrit.com. At the bottom of the page, we have a link to Dice Legion that will give you a certain discount. If you use that link, it'll automatically apply it to checkout. We'll get a little bit of a kickback from that, which is good for us. It's good for you because you spend less money on dice that everybody needs. And then finally, if you can, which we understand, not everybody can, and actually the majority of people can't. We also have a link to Patreon as well. It's toward the bottom of the page. If you can support us monetarily, we would greatly appreciate it. We're discussing new perks to put on some of the Patreon tiers, just letting you know that. Like some of our personal works that we're going to start putting out, maybe like Storyteller's Vault. Who knows? As well as the obvious, like special Discord channels, special Discord role. There's other things that we have possibly that are coming, which we've got one more piece of the puzzle to insert before we can even start with that one, though. If that's a thing that we're going to do.
We'll have to talk about that puzzle. We are very excited for Werewolf coming up, though.
Yes, we are. Which I have pre-ordered. And this is free promotion for Renegade Games. Go ahead and pre-order that if you're interested as well. As well as the Player's Guide, because it has a lot of cool stuff in there. Edited
Yeah, it
pretty
does.
badly for the first release, but it's got a lot of good stuff. If you can get past the edits, if you're not like obsessed on that. Like somebody.
It's frustrating, okay? But the
I
stuff
know.
in there is definitely worth it.
Yep. So yeah. Join us next time for Nichol's Cryptid Catchers on Thursdays. The Total
In
Party Crit.
Massachusetts.
Yes.
One brief interjection. The games have been releasing day of now. I don't really have the time to do it the day before anymore with how long it takes me to upload, unfortunately. So for the next foreseeable future, games are uploading exactly a week after we play them.
That's fair. So, yes. Also, look out for those on any of your preferred podcasting or podcast apps and or sites, as well as on YouTube. So remember to like, subscribe, share. Word of mouth goes a long way, and algorithms like subscribes and likes and reviews. So if you want to do that and can do that, please do. So have a wonderful evening and stay out of the cow pasture.